I've never once considered that we're living in a simulation. Until now. The world is crazy. The President of the United States is discussing World War III next to an Easter bunny. An oil tanker just exploded under a bridge in the Panama Canal, confirming our worst fear that the energy crisis may actually be getting worse. But even crazier than those things, another economist just said that he thinks that Bitcoin is going to zero. Today, we're going to break down a new viral infection spreading across the globe, infecting millions and infecting your portfolio. Bitcoin Derangement Syndrome. We're going to show you what it means, how to spot it, and why it means we're still early. This is a spicy episode, but I'm excited for it. This is Dante Cook with Bitcoin Simply. Let's go.
Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail.
When I walk down into the lobby of my hotel and I see an Easter bunny fighting like this, it only makes sense that I would have him right by my side as I'm discussing World War III with the rest of the world.
And I don't think it gets much more hostile than Iran. They're capable fighters. They're very tough people. And there are others like that. You don't mind when the enemy is weak, but that enemy is strong. Not so strong like they were about a month ago, I can tell you. In fact, right now, they're not too strong at all, in my opinion, but we're soon going to find out, aren't we?
Make no mistake, there's a clinically diagnosed disease called Trump Derangement Syndrome. It's where there's no accountability in the world over things that happened under previous administrations, and everything in the world is Trump's fault. But also make no mistake about it, there's a strong possibility that Trump himself is deranged. Actually, there is no question. Trump is deranged.
Biden would use the auto pen. He'd have an auto pen following Joe Biden. He didn't sign. He was incapable of signing his name. So they'd follow him around with this big machine. You know what it was called? An auto pen.
Let me pause for a second and do my Drewski wipe. This dude is pure comedy. The sound bites from this dude are endless. Like trolling Joe Biden in front of elementary school kids is legendary. But the volatility he creates in markets is endless. And just like there is Trump derangement syndrome in the world, and Trump is deranged, Bitcoiners may actually be a little bit deranged. But there is also a clinically diagnosed disease called Bitcoin Derangement Syndrome. When people get insane when Trump is discussed, well, the same thing happens with Bitcoin.
Someone trying to pick a bottom on crypto right now.
I think they're insane. I think that they underestimate the volatility. I mean, I might pick up some Bitcoin at 50,000. There, I said it because I hate my money. But I think when people, listen, this is just a risk asset like everything else. You really think that if the broader markets and earnings fall apart, that crypto's going to be your savior? That we're going to have these young guys in college sitting around, making prediction bets all day long if the broader economy is in recession? They won't have any money. So this idea that there's this part of the market that's going to be insulated from anything is laughable. The earnings are non-existent. And I think as far as this brave new hope, it's just as old as the AI trade right now. I think what people need to do is sit back, start counting their cash, and think about doing some strategic buying in real things with real earnings, because this whole crypto tokenization prediction market, this is gambling, and you're going to have regulators start coming out. It's full of insider trading. It's got a lot of fleas on it. I'd rather have companies that actually earn money. I'd rather be long in ExxonMobil right now because oil's going to stay high for a little bit. I'm not saying 200, but you know what I mean.
Whoa, buddy. There's a little foam on your mouth. I'm about to flash this cross on you, you vampire. This is a clinic diagnosis case study for BDS, Bitcoin Derangement Syndrome. Bitcoin has got fleas on it. You might as well burn your money. This dude is insane. I could tell he was crazy by how fast his mouth was moving and the fact that his hair didn't move at all. That's entirely too much product, my man. You can tell someone has Bitcoin Derangement Syndrome when they fly off the handle about things that get a very simple question. Bitcoin is an asset that is a protocol. That'd be like you getting pissed off about people being excited about the internet or Wi-Fi. You can also tell if someone has Bitcoin Derangement Syndrome if they're constantly talking about how Bitcoin has outperformed every other asset and they're a bit bitter in their post about how they didn't invest in it back when it was early enough and they had an opportunity to do so. When you at people like Saylor who are much more successful than you, you're either engagement baiting or you're crazy. But dudes like him aren't alone. There's people like Peter Schiff, like the economist Stephen Keen, who missed out on Bitcoin early, who now says Bitcoin has no value because it requires energy to maintain and to create.
I wanted to come back to something you actually said earlier. You talked about Bitcoin briefly.
Yeah.
I've heard you say that you think Bitcoin's going to zero.
Yeah.
Okay, this is worrying. I think I have some Bitcoin. You're an economist.
Yeah.
You're saying that Bitcoin is going to zero. Why?
Ultimately, because of its reliance upon energy. I mean, you know Max Kaiser and Stacey Herbert? Have you met them at all?
No.
They were sort of the original proselytizers for Bitcoin, and they're now living in, I think, El Salvador, which has adopted Bitcoin as a form of currency. When they told me about Bitcoin, I could have bought it for £1 a Bitcoin, which I would have been maybe wealthier than you if I'd done that. The reason I didn't is they explained that the way that the public ledger is kept safe is that it takes too much energy to break it. So each transaction requires 10 minutes of computer processing time globally, by the looks of it, to actually create an extra Bitcoin. And that means it's too expensive for somebody to try to break the ledger. That means it's got a huge requirement for energy use. And I believe, knowing what I know from climate scientists, that at some point we're going to realize we're using far too much energy on the planet. We've got to cut the energy consumption. And the two easiest things to cut out to reduce energy consumption are cryptocurrencies and international travel.
Let me give you another perspective. A perspective from a $1.7 trillion asset manager. They don't think that crypto is dead. They think that people are crazy who think that it will be.
Name one overhyped and underhyped crypto narrative.
Ooh. Overhyped crypto narrative, crypto is dead.
Oh, good answer.
Every time there's a market pullback, crypto is dead. This is the end of it. Never happens. Crypto is going to be around long after any of us are. Underhyped, TradFi coming into crypto is going to make crypto better.
Spicy. Very spicy.
Yeah, overhyped. I struggle with that one because I think fundamentally crypto is still very much underhyped.
Yeah.
Like it's just, it doesn't, the true innovation that it represents, people have not appreciated at all just yet.
This is something that Bitcoin hodlers don't know until it's too late, until they realize that they're sitting on a gold mine of wealth that's going to be around a lot longer than they are. They don't realize that they can't unlock wealth from their Bitcoin without selling it. And you know what? Selling means taxes. Selling means exiting your position, and selling means that you lose. And that's why Ledn fixes that. Ledn is TradFi coming to Bitcoin, but for everybody else. Ledn allows you to get wealth from your Bitcoin without selling your Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin-backed loan. You keep your stack, you repay it at any time. There's zero penalties, zero capital gains, and zero monthly payments. Ledn just dropped their lowest rates ever. No fine print, no complexity. The larger your loan, the lower the rate. Here's why I trust Ledn personally. Bitcoin is custodied at all times and never lent out. You get LTV or lifetime to value alerts so that you never get margin called out of your position. You can auto top up your loan at any time. They've done $10 billion worth of loans and never lost a single cent or sat of customer money. And that's why you should use the link below to get started. All right, people who are a little bit crazy out there are people who trust the banks with their wealth and believe that it's all safe and it's all theirs. It's not. It's called fractional reserve banking. Bitcoiners have taken the other crazy approach, which is they take self-custody of their Bitcoin. But some of them have learned through YouTube videos and how to do it on their own in the hard way. But you can get a coach at the Bitcoin way. Members of their team will walk you through step-by-step of how to custody your Bitcoin like a crazy person so that you can protect your wealth sovereignly. Go to thebitcoinway.com/partner/Dante-Cook to get started, and a member from their team will reach out and walk you through self-custody and why it's so crazy. There's some people out there who believe that the only way to have a world that is sustainable is to move to net zero. People like Mark Carney, the Canadian Prime Minister.
We're having this ruthless, relentless focus on net zero because in the end, look, we can't stabilize the climate unless we get to net zero. And it's a simple, these are hard numbers. Your emissions are either A or B, they're going up or down. And if they're going down, are they going down consistent with the science? We anchor it in the science, the same science the UN and others use for the 1.5 degree objective.
We're anchored in science. We've heard that before. Those people only want one thing, which is control over you, your decisions, and the money that they're able to print to infinity. What's more deranged? Sound money, spending less than you earn, using the resources that God gave us on this earth to power humanity in the things that we need to survive. Or the fact that you can, with a straight face, like leaders in California, say that you need $125 billion to finish a project that's already lost tens of billions of dollars and has not laid a single track. What's more deranged?
As we speak right now, are the funds there to complete LA to San Francisco?
The entire amount of money we need, not there today.
How much do you estimate it's going to cost to connect high-speed rail San Francisco to LA?
Today, we estimate with the right optimization, just over $125 billion.
We need about $125 billion, but we have an understanding of how to get there, so it's okay. When you see the M2 money supply tripling since 2008 and the value of the dollar going down 38%, who's more deranged? The people who believe in the dollar or people who have invested in Bitcoin? When you see the Colorado Rockies rolling out the Glazilla, a 1 pound, 23-inch hot dog on a 19-inch sub roll, it's retailing at $45 as a family meal. And you're going to call Bitcoiners crazy who want to save and invest their money in Bitcoin because inflation's going through the roof? What about the Texas Rangers who are rolling out nacho sombreros in order to make the economics work for running a concession stand at a Major League Baseball game? You're telling me inflation's not out of control? You're telling me that people who invest in Bitcoin are crazy? On a side note, of all the crazy things that I've seen this week, this one actually had me questioning my own sanity. Were dinosaurs ever real? I got questions after looking at this graphic. Trump is deranged. Yes, there is Trump derangement syndrome. Yes, Bitcoiners are a little bit crazy. Yes, but there is Bitcoin derangement syndrome. But are we more crazy than the people that are printing $39 trillion worth of debt like it's water? Do debts mean nothing? Does endless war mean nothing? Does volatility in markets mean nothing? Do the fact that bonds have returned negative 17% over the last 5 years mean nothing to you in real terms? Bitcoiners are crazy, but we might be the most sane people on the planet right now. And we're the people who've predicted a lot of the stuff that's going on in the world right now that's actually happening. Maybe you should pay attention. This is Dante Cook with Bitcoin Simply. Happy stacking. And if you're a crazy person who wants to get sats at all hours of the day, when you sleep, when you wake, when you're at work, well, you're probably mining Bitcoin like a crazy person. But instead of doing it in your basement, you outsource it to SaaS mining, the leaders in Bitcoin mining who will help you buy a machine, keep it up and running, and send sats directly to your wallet. They do it with 100% clean renewable energy, so crazy people like Mark Carney can actually be satisfied with a net zero mandate. We're not going to run out of energy like Stephen King may make you to believe. And if you believe those things, use the QR code to get started with SaaS mining. That's BDS.